What will happen to everything you own when you're gone? And I'm not talking about your money or your house. I'm talking about your stuff. The boxes in the basement and the photo albums and the dishes you never use. The sentimental treasures that no one else understands. Will anyone want it? Or will it all end up on a folding table at a yards? Will anyone want it? Or will anyone want it, or will it all end up on a folding table at a yard sale or estate sale with a bright orange sticker on it? Today, I want to talk about something that we don't discuss nearly enough, and that's whether to keep or purge. What happens to a lifetime of belongings? Who will want all this stuff when I'm dead? To purge or the hoard? That is the question. I have to be honest. There were times in my life when I held on to everything. There were seasons when letting go felt impossible and when emotional attachment far outweighed um, anything, and memories felt stitched into every object. And I remember having a yard sale many years ago. I wanted to raise funds to go see my son graduate from basic training across the country. So I emptied out the basement and every storage bin and box and closet and cabinet. And I spread everything out in my front yard. And I was really embarrassed about how much I had accumulated. And seeing it all laid out on my front yard was really an eye opener. I could see what kind of over consumerism I was participating in, and it was right there in plain view for everybody else to see. But that yard sale did fund that trip across the country, so it was worth it. Since then, I have moved several times, and with each move, I felt like I purged. My last major move was 20 years ago, and 10 years ago, we built this house. And before we built the house, we had been living in a fairly small home, about 1,200 square feet. And to be honest with you, when we cleaned it out, I was amazed at how much we had packed into that little tiny home. Uh, but when we did move out of the small home, I went intentionally through every bin and box and really tried to um, ask myself questions about really what I should keep and what I should get rid of. I would ask myself, if I'm gone tomorrow, who wants this item? Does it have any value beyond my personal emotional attachment? Some things I kept intentionally from even when I was young, like my sorority jacket or college journals or childhood books that I thought I would pass down to my grandchildren. But the truth is, you know, I don't really want anyone reading the journals from my college years. I'm very grateful that I grew up well before video evidence became apparent. And eventually, those written memories were burned to ash. The sorority jacket, he would never fit me again. And even if it did, where would I wear it? So into the bin that went. Now, the books were harder. My grandmother gifted a subscription to me where I received a book a month, and I was probably 7 or 8. So, getting mail is very exciting. And I waited with bated breath for the mailman to bring me my book. And I still remember the excitement of opening that package to see what kind of new story awaited me. That's where the memory is. It's not the books, it's the memory. And eventually I donated them too. My kids might have flipped through them a couple of times when they were little, but they didn't have the attachment that I do. And 10 years later, I still don't have any grandchildren, and I don't miss the books, but I do treasure the memories of the books. um, as far as my sons go, I did fill one storage bin for each of them with childhood keepsakes. But truthfully, when I think about the contents of those bins, they're still sitting in the shed, and I suspect most of what's inside those bins won't mean that much to them. It probably means more to me. So I need to go through those again. And I have photo albums. Oh my goodness, do I have photo albums? I have photo albums filled with pictures of their children, their childhoods. And one day, when I retire, I plan on curating an album for each of them. So we built this house, and I made myself a promise that I wouldn't buy things just to fill space. I wanted to bring into this home things that we loved. And for the most part, I've kept that promise. Most of the art on the walls are things we found at estate sales that just really speak to us. A few pieces I inherited from a relative that she did herself. They're really special pieces of art, and they were passed down to me from my mother. Now, when my mother died, the temptation to hold on to everything that she had touched was so strong. She had really downsized when she moved to her 55 and older condo from a fairly large home of 50 years. But she still had collections. My grandmother had left her things, and then there were family heirlooms and pieces that carry history. And I took a few meaningful items that spoke to me, my grandmother's Hummels and two of my mom's carousel horses and just a few other things. But to be honest, they're sitting in a curio cabinet, and I rarely stop to look at them. And I often wonder, like, when I die, what will happen to them? My sons aren't going to want them, and my husband has no emotional attachment to those items. So why do I keep them? I don't, I don't know. Maybe it's just emotion. Estate sales fascinate me. I love going to them. Walking through someone's home after they're gone is quite sobering. Closets just packed with clothing, Christmas decor, and holiday decor that's just unbelievable. China that's still in some of it's in their original boxes, housewares that have never been used. And who really needs 5 bottles of the same shampoo? And books. So many books. So many someday items. And it makes me wonder, how much of what we keep is really for us and how much just becomes a burden. And yes, I realized and yes, and yes, I realize the irony of going to estate sales when I am trying to live a more minimized lifestyle. But I rarely purchase things unless I really need it. If it's an affordable item or if it's a piece of art that really speaks to me, um, then I really will buy something. Now, sometimes I dream of selling everything and just living in our RV full time, like some friends of ours. That would certainly simplify life, but I just can't get my husband on board with that idea. So, here I am. I'm still navigating the keep purge tension. How about you? Do you look around your home and wonder, what will become of your belongings, or do you purge regularly? Uh, do you find yourself holding on to things just in case, or because you just can't let go of it? I would love to hear your thoughts. And so, chime in below. And thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you next time.